Good morning, DragonCon, and welcome to the final edition for 2024 of the DragonConTV Late Show. Good morning, Centennial.
Yay.
Yay.
Morning.
We're awake.
There
We
is a
made
crowd
it.
assembled, yes. And welcome to the Late Show at 9:11 a.m. because it's not on late, it's just on late. My name is Brian. With me this morning, I've got Vaughn, TJ, and Ray. We are as much of a Voltron as we could assemble, so just imagine us like, I don't know, we used one of those Robo-Beasts as a crutch or something, and we're waiting for that leg to show up from Temu.
With our powers combined, we are barely capable.
Yes. 80% of Voltron is just going to have to do it. I didn't like that planet anyway. All right, the weekend may be over, but DragonCon is not. We've still got events going on this Monday, but we'll get into those in just a moment. Vaughn, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me back. I wasn't actually scheduled, but as Voltron or Ultron is, you got to pop up when you got to be ready when they need you.
Yes, and yeah, voluntold.
Exactly.
So what's a highlight from your weekend?
A highlight from my weekend, I would definitely say, was yesterday. Yesterday, I did go to the D&D Live with Mark Meir. I was one of the very lucky ones to get in because they ran out of space very quickly. But it was a hilarious encounter. And watching all of the voice actors from Baldur's Gate 3, that was because I played a game, so it was very, very, I was kind of fanboying out even though I was working, but I was trying to contain all of it together. But that was my highlight, I would say.
Yeah, if you haven't been to Improv D&D, sometimes you can see it at Dad's Garage locally, but Mark Meir comes down. He's in Canada, he's like a big deal in the improv and sketch comedy scene, and won a couple of awards for TV productions, and he's just one of the sharpest improv guys I know. It's incredible what he comes up with. Ray, what's one of your weekend highlights?
Well, it was a big year for the science track, which I do a lot of panels on. It's actually the 10th anniversary of our beloved Steve Grenade taking over the track. The 10th anniversary of my show, Solve for X. We had some fun panels. I learned about the evolutionary pressures that led Furby to become Long Furby. And I have new nightmares that will haunt me for the rest of my life.
Okay.
Wow.
TJ.
Let's see. The biggest highlight for me was attending an evening at Bree. It's like this. Obviously, I'm wearing like a prancing pony shirt here. I'm a huge Tolkien fan, and every DragonCon they have this costume contest, and filking and bards just playing, and there's a green dragon sort of bar over off to the side. Everyone's dressed up in their Lord of the Rings cosplays and stuff, and
Awesome.
I was able to be a guest judge, and I dressed up as a dwarf. It was just so fun. Everybody was having a blast. So, yeah,
awesome. My highlight is I did con a little differently this year and spent more of my time hanging around photo shoots. It's the first year at DragonCon I almost got sunburned because the photo shoots, if you don't know, are outside.
Right.
And I had planned for it about 80%. And that is for, I'll talk about why I was doing all those photo shoots towards the end of it. But actually just getting to see that part of it, a part that I don't normally go to, was really cool. And just interacting with a lot of the cosplayers and like bouncing between a Barbie event and a Leia event, and then having one of the Barbies be Hutslayer Ken and show up in a pink bikini at the Leia shoot. Like, it was a whole thing.
that is awesome.
So, more serious stuff that we got going on. One exciting event you can still hit today is the DragonCon main charity auction that happens today, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Hyatt, Hanover. That's one level down from the Centennial Ballroom, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, if you haven't met Don Cragen, you should, but he's been out and about meeting all of our VIPs, celebrities and guests. So if you bid for him, it will include photos of all of his crazy adventures over the weekend. So that is one of the special items that'll be available. There's lots of other ones, so go check it out. This is an opportunity to take home some really unique items from the auction.
Yeah, and later today at the Hilton at 10 a.m. So, if you sprint, you can get on over there. You can join Ayla Almi of Antipode in this Silk Road Fusion class where they cover fusion fan dance techniques to geeky pop culture music. So all are welcome to the all ages judgment-free dance class. and they'll provide simple hand fans to the first 40 people. So, like I said, sprint.
Free swag. Also, in Hilton, you can hear from voices and creators making movies in the animation industry, from sketches to scripts to screen in the panel in the LGBTQ plus animation guests. Speakers will be J.P. Carlack, who is known most recently as the voice of Morph in X-Men 97.
Of that
Great show. Great show.
They did so good on that.
And Naomi, now Romero, who is not only a wonderful illustrator, but also the amazing artist behind the lovely baby dragons available from DragonCon. So make sure that you go to that panel if you want to hear from those two people. Again, that's the LGBTQ plus animation guests, and it's happening today at 11:30 in the Hilton Galleria 1.
All right, and we've got one of our prep segments coming up. If you've noticed, we have a news team that wanders around the con and gets content both horizontal and vertical. So you can find that on DragonConTV and all the socials. We've been promoting the Life South Blood Drive throughout the weekend. We've teased T-shirts and pins and swag, but it's really about people and what we love about them on the inside, which is their blood, but also their spirit of giving. The Life South volunteers have a tradition. After the blood drive closes, they meet in the donation room to close out the evening. They have staff announcements, sing happy birthday, and then they exit together. It's a powerful reminder that the work we're doing here is to benefit people. So why don't we roll that segment?
Yeah, lights out! Friggin' get it! Rock it! Yeah!
Number one, baby. Lights out. Donate.
Judy, as she's driving buses back and forth.
Hospital services. Yeah, get the extra.
Here's a special tease for next year's show.
That was great. Thank you so much for grabbing that footage. If you have not already and are able to donate, please take time to donate blood to Life South. Their Monday hours are 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Your donation will mean the world to someone. They won't know you, but you'll know that you made a difference to them. And if you're not able to donate at con, if you're worried that your blood is less blood and more some other substances than it normally is on a regular day, donate anywhere that you can. Even if it's not with Life South, just anywhere in the U.S., they always are in need of units.
I'm so excited to welcome our first guest of the show, Jim Farmer. Jim led Out on Film, Atlanta's LGBTQIA plus film festival, to become an Oscar-qualifying film festival, and he's an award-winning arts reporter who covers film, television, and theater. Jim, welcome to The Late Show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored. Thank you.
Man.
Thank you, everybody.
Welcome.
So yeah, let's start with talking about the film festival. You know, how did this whole thing start, and how did you become involved?
Out on Film began 37 years ago. I started in 2008. I'd been working in a movie theater, really started making connections in the industry. The Atlanta Film Festival gave up Out on Film, and I was there to take over. I said, this is my job, and I pretty much took it.
That's
like,
awesome.
I want this, I took it, and that was 16 years ago.
Wow, that's amazing.
Has it been 16 years?
I am I feel a connection because I'm actually a filmmaking teacher. So we need to get in touch after this.
Exactly.
What is the actual mission for Out on Film?
Out on Film, really, we work with LGBTQ artists. The festival is for, by, and about our community. It's really a good place to come and see LGBTQIA films and meet filmmakers. We have a lot of filmmakers down, and we just really showcase their work. We like to showcase the work of new filmmakers. And as we all know, Atlanta has grown so much over the last decade.
Yes.
It's astonishing to see all the Atlanta filmmakers and new filmmakers who are in this region producing work. We really just like to get their work out there and present it. But more importantly, out on film, kind of like DragonCon, is a safe haven for people to come and experience this work together and feel like you're with your tribe and just be part of the community. And for 11 days.
It's been blowing up just as it's grown along here. I've actually been following you guys on Facebook for quite some time. And like, how many submissions have you gotten this year, if you can even off the top of your head?
We received close to 1,000 this year.
That's so awesome.
And it's a good problem to have. It's not great when you're the festival director. You have to watch them all.
Yeah.
And but it's listen. I love what I do. I could be working at a bank. I'm one of those people who literally do what they love. So I have no complaints.
Yeah. So you've been an arts reporter. That means you've seen kind of the industry and the representation evolve over time. So what excites you about the growing number of voices that we have in the film community?
Everything excites me. When I was growing up, I went to the University of Georgia, and I was interested in film, and there really wasn't a film department. There was a video department, so all my colleagues, we kind of dilly-dallied. Some people moved, most of us stayed here, and I've sort of inched back into the industry. And back when I started doing it on film, there were maybe 5 or 6 filmmakers in town who identified as LGBTQIA. Now we have hundreds, and it's so impressive seeing what they're doing. And I know people who live in LA who are literally moving to Atlanta to be part of the business. That to me, that is just so ironic. I never in a million years would have imagined people would move from Los Angeles to Atlanta to be part of the film business. But it's something that I'm very proud of. I think we can all be proud of here, and I hope it continues.
And I'm okay with that, like the film business blowing up here more, that's totally good for me too. So.
It's so funny because there are times when, I know there's kind of a lull right now in the industry, but 3 or 4 years ago, everything was filming here. And of course, I would find out about it after it filmed. Like, my favorite actress was here in my neighborhood, and I didn't know she was here. But I'm just very proud of Atlanta. I'm proud of the people who have helped the growth here, like, Lee Thomas, Jimmy Carter initially, set the footprints for something like this a long time ago. I'm just really proud of what's going on here and how we've really, taken on the challenge and really showed the world that we can do this.
Yeah, and also, so they know, when is the festival? And of course, it's local to Atlanta, but I want to make sure people, know when to attend, because it's coming up right around the corner.
It's very soon. We are September the 26th through October the 6th. So we have a lot of, I'm a big, of course I love all LGBTQI films, but I'm a big horror movie fan. And something that I've really been excited about is that over the last 5 years, we have enough submissions that we have a horror night. And that is just my jam. So this year we have a really...
We can applaud to that. That's,
Woo. Scary things, yay.
Wait,
love
so
scary stuff.
The theme of this year's festival is queer joy. How does that relate to horror night?
Well, queer joy is, not everything you're going to see at Out on Film is going to be overly peppy. A lot is, but queer joy is really about your community coming together and experiencing this. We have some films that are dark. We have some films that will scare you. We have some films that are sad. But ultimately, it's about being together and experiencing this as a community. The joy of all having us all together.
Jim, thank you so much for being a guest here on our show. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our next segment that we're going to show you. I was actually involved in it. It's the Night Warrior Fitness Challenge. It was quite a challenge. I consider myself someone who's fit, but I was pretty winded afterwards. And it was fun, though. The Palmetto Knights, who do the night fights here, they put it on for guests who come and participate in like this sort of, obstacle course or, form of torture. And we're going to show that right now.
I'm Ryan for DragonConTV, and I'm standing here with 2 competitors, TJ and Joy, who are about to compete head-to-head. in the Night Warrior Fitness Challenge. You have anything to say to your opponent, Joy?
Your ass is grass, and I'm gonna mow it.
Ooh, and you, TJ?
The best of luck to you, and may the best knight win.
And TJ at the trebuchet, and he's off. Yes, he's got 3 plates on it. He's a big boy. He does his workout, and it's in the nuts. It's a money shot. He got the treasure. He's running, and he is done. Joy at the trebuchet. She's ready, and we're off. There she goes. A good. And look at that. She's pushing and pushing, and she lost a shoe. Now she's at the archery. But oh no, the human target has been shot anyway. Oh, and she's got the treasure chest, and she is done, ladies and gentlemen. Not since I've rented A Knight's Tale at Blockbuster have I seen such fine medieval action. You, sir, have worked up a sweat.
Yeah, well, you gotta just get out there and give 110%, and you play good. You hope you play good, and I think we played pretty good out there tonight.
As you can see, I have not broken a sweat because this is a walk in the park. I would like somebody in the comments to exclude the archery time so I can know my real time, because I know for a fact that was rigged. It was foul.
I'm Ryan from DCTV, signing out.
Wow, excellent job by Ryan on the commentating, but
I'd like
TJ,
to point
you
out,
look
too,
winded.
there's an extra plate on mine, okay?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they played favorites.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I see how it is. Yeah. Well, so you say you didn't step up to the plate.
No, I did not.
All right.
Was not on my A game.
Our next guest this morning is responsible for those gorgeous key cards you've been using to get back into your hotel room at 3 in the morning. Please welcome Aranga D.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, so excited to have you up.
Super stoked to be here.
So when you've been given an assignment like the key cards, where you have to do both unique and cohesive art, how do you approach it?
Oh, this one was interesting. So we boiled it down to I was aware of what the theme was, which was rivalries, and my immediate first response was, let's just go all superheroes. So I was like, all right, let's do Batman Joker, let's do Spidey Goblin. And then they were like, hey, pump the brakes. We're gonna address multiple fandoms here. So we went with Batman and Joker, and then they gave me a list of other combinations representing various fandoms, and we started from there. When I do these, what I call negative space, just bold graphic designs, you have to actually do the whole image first and then deduct from it and then try to see what people's eyes can read. So it was an interesting thing. I didn't get a whole lot of notes once I started working on it. The toughest part was finishing it and then kind of holding on and not being able to show anyone the art till Tuesday this last week.
Wow.
That's got to be tough. You're just like, I want to show you all this really cool.
I made something so cool, but you can't see it.
As soon as I make stuff, I'm just like, look what I did.
They told me I couldn't even show my wife.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I'm just
Top
kidding.
secret, that Marvel.
That had to have been complicated. Why won't you let me in that room? Just give me a few more minutes.
It's not what it looks like.
So, was there a particular fandom that you were especially, excellent to include?
So, as I mentioned, a lot of what I do is comic book work, and it's related around those universes. So really, all the ones outside of that, Mario versus Bowser was one that came out of like left field, and I was like, okay, that was fun, and it turned out to be one of the most popular pieces out there when people were bringing their key cards and they were like stoked about and buying prints. I was like, okay, this is cool. And the other one was Ripley versus the Alien Queen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
It just goes to show that I just don't know anything. I knew the Star Wars one would be big, and then the Batman Joker. I wasn't aware how much interest there'd be in the other two, which was pretty cool. Yeah.
Looking at this, it's obvious that like contrast, especially with the Star Wars piece, right? The contrast really sells this. So what's it like to work predominantly in one color, and how do you decide which character gets a color?
Great question. A lot of the times I'll pick the predominant color scheme of the character. There's 3 layers of complexity to this particular project. Is one, there's 2 characters on there,
Yeah.
often with wildly different color schemes. And 3, I had to incorporate elements from one of the host hotels in there. So at some point, I had to stop getting precious with it and just pick a color and let's go. But usually when I work on pieces like this, I try to pick the predominant color of the main character that's there. So when you deduct, for lack of a better word, when you erase lines, it fills in with the color of the costume or something along those lines. But for this one in particular, it was, hey, let's just get down to it. You're never gonna identify the perfect color here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully they worked out.
It did. It worked out perfectly. I know the issues when it comes to try to edit and stuff. I never did that, but I know you're excellent at that. But you've also done a lot of art for X-Men characters. Is there a certain type of connection that you have with those characters?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess if you peruse my Instagram account, it's pretty obvious that I draw a lot of X-Men. I haven't necessarily worked on them in a formal setting, if you will, but yet. So I grew up overseas, and I didn't move to the U.S. till I was 18. So I started reading comics when I was as I was growing up, from like 10 years old. So when I moved to the U.S., I basically moved to go to college. I didn't really have family here or friends, and comics was the common kind of theme and the connective tissue, if you will, from like my previous life. And the X-Men were always kind of top of the heap there. Yeah.
Is that The Rocketeer? That was one of my favorite movies. I'm sorry.
That is The Rocketeer.
Is there a particular character style that you enjoy drawing the most?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Is there a particular character style that you enjoy drawing the most?
No, as you can see, there is between a lot of the cover work that I've done for comic books has been in the same style as the key card art, in the negative space, bold, graphic style, but my natural style is more comic booky, if you will, highly rendered, etc. I enjoy both of them. As far as characters go, I like getting out of the box characters, because when I take on commissions, you get kind of, I don't want to say tired, I don't want to kind of put that out there, but I draw a lot of Spider-Man, I draw a lot of Wolverine, and at some point, one of the things, annually, maybe twice a year, I'll take a commission list, and I love getting just out-of-the-box characters I've never drawn before. Yeah. So I can't really say I have a favorite character. The X-Men, I mean,
right on.
That's always fun, and people know that, so I get a lot of X-Men requests. Yeah.
Awesome. Aranga, thank you for joining us this morning, and again, thank you for such a lovely piece of art.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Take home as a winner of the Hotel Hunger Games. All right, another round of applause for our guest, please.
Thank you for having me on, guys. Thanks.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
All right, Ray, what do we got coming up next?
Up next, we have DC TV correspondent Will, who caught up with the winners of the Friday Night Costuming Contest. So let's check that out.
This is Will with DC TV News. We are backstage here at the Marriott Atrium with the Friday Night Costuming Contest. We can't wait to see what's going to happen. Let's check it out. I'm here with Ian Finley, who just won Best Journeyman here at the Friday Night Costuming Contest. Ian, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited.
Did you make this yourself?
It's everything from the shoes all the way up, including the weapon, is all made by hand, modeled in Blender, all made by myself. I had to learn how to tailor this year, and so I made costumes for several friends, and then ended up making this guy as sort of the finale of all of that.
From the weapon all the way to the different fabric types that you've chosen, it's phenomenal. I love the flower work that is in this blue pattern here and the gold trim. It's just blows me away. So thank you so much. Congratulations. I'm here with Carrie Giglio, who not only won Best Novice, but was also audience favorite tonight. I love your outfit, obviously Disney inspired. What made you decide to be Snow White here?
She was just somebody so much fun and happy and so full of light, and I loved that as a child.
I love everything you've done here. The detail work almost looks like you've done the dwarves, almost like a stained glass window is what I'm seeing here. How long did this take you?
Several months. I just kept going back with different ideas. There is a reason why I'm in the novice category. I've never worked with this type of material at all before, so I wanted to do something that it challenged me.
I love everything about this. This is phenomenal. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much. I really had a good night. Thank you.
I'm here with Megan Letchworth, who just won Best in Show here at the Friday Night Costuming Contest. Megan, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I cannot tell you how much I love this. I don't even know what it's referencing. What is this?
So my character is actually an art book image by the artist Saki Zo. It's called The Strawberry Dress, and it's the Usamimi version, which is the bunny version.
And the detail work, it matches almost perfectly.
Thank you. I really love detail. It's my favorite part of making costumes.
Even the ears. I can see the ears.
I have a tail.
Oh, wow. That is awesome. So what inspired you to do this?
I love everything frilly and sparkly, and it's not something that I get to wear every day. So when I make costumes, I want to be frilly and, have all the sparkle and lace that I can possibly have. So that's what really drives me, is to be my ideal self in these costumes.
So how many Joanne Fabric stores did you have to mutilate to be able to make this beautiful piece?
So I don't get in trouble, a lot of them. But we're not going to list the number. I don't want them to come after me.
That's smart. I have to say, every detail of this, down to the lace that you have here, the strawberry buttons, even the leaves to the buttons, you can see that they match what's in the picture. I'm blown away.
Thank you. Thank you. I love detail. And I'm really happy that everyone seems to like it as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Will. Will is one of the hosts of The Late Show during the week, along with Stephen, who couldn't join us. Stephen is science tracking. He was sciencing long into the night, from what I heard.
Indeed.
I think some of that science involved solutions.
Yes.
Which then created problems, but the four of us still made it. The thing I have actually really liked about the way that The Late Show has changed over the past 15 years, oh my goodness, is the number of voices that we get to share. Everybody's perspective on the convention is different because it's such a big thing, you can't take it all in. I still like the fact that you could just show up in the Hyatt and plop down in a concert in a hallway.
Exactly. Yep.
It's just the thing you can do here. You can have chance encounters with people. You can plan meticulously and hit all the big panels, or you can just kind of wander the bottom of the Westin and go, I think there's a convention in here somewhere. And then it turns out there is. I really want to get everybody's perspective as we close out on kind of what they saw at the convention and kind of what they feel about, what DragonCon means to them. Starting over here with Vaughn.
DragonCon, I would say, is definitely a family moment for me. Basically, I grew up a nerd and a geek, and I did not realize how I can't think of a better word, but how family everybody is until I started coming to DragonCon about 4 or 5 years ago. So, and then the way it's just exploded as to how many people are coming now. So every time you come, nobody is really mean. Nobody, everybody, it's like brother, sister. I see a lot of aunts, uncles, see a lot of grandmas and stuff. So, I would say the biggest takeaway for me is the family aspect.
Yeah. Ray, what are your thoughts?
You stole my answer. Yeah, I always joke that DragonCon is my family reunion. I've been coming for so long now. You know, I've known Brian since 2008 when I started doing DC TV sketch comedy in your basement as a teenager. Like, this is just home for me, and it's so lovely to see all of my friends and people that I don't get to see anywhere else. And you know, you never feel like you're too much at DragonCon, and that means the world to me. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just my first year on The Late Show, and it's so cool to get to be part of your DragonCon too. I don't know. I'm just so stoked.
Sorry for taking your answer, Ray.
It's okay.
Man, DragonCon, like, it's just, since I first started coming here, it's been so welcoming and open for just, not just for me, but I can see for everyone. You know, it's a place for everybody. I got sober back in 2007. I'm like 17 years now, still sober. And I thought that, you know, DragonCon might have been sort of a party sort of scene. And when I first came to it, I was like, it's not that at all. And, you know, also I love creating, you know, film and TV content and stuff. That's how I express myself. And you guys accepted me. It just kind of took me in. Yeah. And I'm sorry. It's
right.
just, you know, thank you.
It's been awesome. Thank you.
Thank you to DragonCon.
You've upped our game. That is the thing as we bring more people in, as we kind of change our perspective on what we do at the con. It's changed for me over 25 years. I got my 25-year pin at opening ceremonies this year. It's the first time I've actually been the speaker on that. Wow. And I started out the convention sitting in this room in 1998, probably right around that area. The carpet was very different then. But I actually showed up as just an attendee. And because I had asked somebody about volunteering and nobody got back to me, I'm like, okay, fine. They should be good for volunteers. And then I show up on site, and a day or two in, the person I had talked to was like, no, actually, we're a little short on sound people this year. And I'm like, I can run sound. And I'm like, great. And then smash cut to I'm crawling on the floor in a Misfits concert trying to find a loose cable. And I'm like, what did I get myself into? And then that,
yes.
You know, that evolved from sound to being the camera guy. We only had one back then. It was a long time ago. And turning that into every time that the volunteers or the community said, hey, what if we did this? We had the space to do it. And that's why there's over 100 people now involved in making sure this message shows up in your hotel room and your social media feed when you couldn't crawl out of bed, unlike the committed people who actually were in here before I was. So the convention kind of grows and evolves, and my role in it has gone back and forth. I've been behind the scenes for a long time, a content creator for the convention, and then I decided, let people who are better at the modern skills handling the video, and I'll do this front of camera thing. And then this year, I got approached by Rachel Reeves and Robin, who run the department that videography's under. And they basically said, hey, we'd like for you to come back and help coordinate content. And as part of that, you know, we'd like for you to do, like, put together something that we can use for closing or maybe for the masquerade as a video. And I'm like, I have an idea, but it's a little bit different than what we normally do, because people tend to think of us as comedy in a lot of ways, and we've grown way past that. And I've always struggled with how to message that, because, you know, we started out making dumb things to show behind famous people while you were waiting for them to get their Starbucks order or whatever. And I'm like, I want to shift a little bit and go with something that's a little bit more representative of what I feel about the con now. And so I moved out to the West Coast 5 years ago, and I'm lucky to be good friends with a lot of people in the Phil community up there. And one of my best friends up there is Michelle Dockery. She's known as Vixie. And she was actually in some of the 2020 lockdown videos. She had never been to con before, was helping us with content during the virtual event. And I said, hey, there's a song on your album called We Are Who We Are, and I'd like to use it for the convention, but I feel weird taking your song and bringing it into the con. And she's like, I've always wanted a video set at a convention about that, because that's what the song is about. It is a, you know, very heartfelt, award-winning song, actually, that she wrote with her partner, Tony, 8 years ago, about what it is to find people in your space. And it's extremely relatable, and it was kind of a challenge to do, because I thought of it in the middle of the summer. And that meant that I couldn't get all the footage I wanted until I showed up. So I immediately reverted from, I'm just going to stay on stage and talk to famous people and maybe crash the backstage every once in a while, to, oh, I'm back at shooting stuff at the convention. Now, the good news is y'all made it easy because everybody shows up now on Wednesday. I could get most of my footage on Thursday.
Exactly.
And the reason that this is the first DragonCon I almost got sunburned is because I spent most of Thursday on the back deck of the Hilton between photo shoots, including one that I organized about 6 weeks ago, and said, hey, anybody wants to show up Thursday, bring a costume. I really don't care what it is, but show up, and I hope you're able to be in the video.
So you cut that video together?
I was rendering that video Sunday morning, the final cut.
Wow.
I only had to get 40 shots when I got here. I probably pulled 60 or 70. I have to make now another video out of the stuff I couldn't fit into the first video. Because the stuff is, the people who showed up, 155 people checked in for my Thursday shoot. There's probably 200 names I need to thank for that video. And most of them, like, I don't even have their names. Like, I gave them a ribbon and then maybe we didn't get the QR code to them or whatever. So there's a bunch of just people in this video that I can't thank properly, except talking into this microphone. So there's going to be a 26th year for me. It'll be next year. It will probably be on this stage, and it'll hopefully be with all of you here. So thank you again to everybody who volunteers, and more importantly, everybody as a fan who shows up. Because if there's no fans, there's no reason for us to be here. Give yourself a round of applause.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So for the entire crew up here and the ones behind the scenes and the few that are still in their hotel room because they were behind the scenes all last night, it's hard to say this, but we will see you next year. Thank you, DragonCon.
Thank you, guys.
I love love.